Kenny Pugh wanted to welcome you to my webinar, 7 Tips on How to Improve Your Time Management. And so over the next upcoming several minutes or so, we're going to dive into 7 tips that will hopefully help you reclaim back control over the time of your life. And so I know that if you've signed up or registered for this particular webinar, there's a reason behind it. You feel like you can't balance how your career and your work with your family, with your personal life, and you want to learn some tips on how to regain control over your time and to get control of your life back. And so hopefully these 7 tips will help you as you pursue that control back over your life, and that you can feel empowered on how to move forward so that you don't go through the same thing over again. And at this time, I just want to allow you to grab a pen and some paper and take notes as we dive into the 7 tips that will actually help you regain control over your life and improve your time management. And we'll dive into it shortly. So I want you to relax. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to take a pen and paper or your tablet, get ready to take copious notes. And we're going to see if we can get your life changed within the next 30 minutes or so, because it really doesn't take that long. It's really about acknowledging some of these tips that I'm going to share with you and applying them to your life. And so if you would, just please do me a favor right now, say, I'm ready to change my life. And if that's you, type that in the chat room so that I know that I'm connecting with the right people and that you're ready to really change your life. There's too many people that are out there really out of control, can't really balance the responsibilities on life. And I don't want you, I don't want you to be one of those people. I want you to be someone who is able to operate, understand your time, understand where your focuses should be when it comes to how you do things, what you do, and what you focus your time on. And so we're going to talk about that in the upcoming minutes. As of right now, just kind of want to give you a heads up, lay of the land. For those of you who have registered and you are watching this on the website, you'll actually have a chat room underneath in which you can type your questions along the way. And as I give you specific instructions along the way, you can type it in the chat room. For those of you who are watching by way of the Google Hangout itself, feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A application so that at the appropriate time, I'll be able to go to it and address the questions that you might have. Other than that, I want you to just relax, be empowered over the next 30 minutes or so, and see if we can help to change and transform your life. I'm getting ready to share my screen so that you can see the content that I have prepared for us today. And other than that, we're going to have fun. It's just going to be a fun time together. And let's go ahead and get ready to have our lives change. And so 7 tips to improve your time management. My name is Kenny Pugh. I'm your host for today. And who am I? I am an entrepreneur. I'm a life and business strategist. I'm a certified life coach. I'm the owner of KTP Financial and Kenny Pugh LLC, and I leverage those vehicles to help empower and change people's lives. And that's what it's all about, is making an impact in people's lives. And that's what I've dedicated my life and my purpose to doing today. I'm a former financial services executive, as well as an executive just overall in telecom as well. I have a background or a degree in industrial and systems engineering. And so I'm big on processes. I'm big on automation. I'm big on making sure that you focus on the right things in order to get the right results. And so hopefully that will apply as we go through the content that we have prepared today. And then I'm a former Big 4 consultant. And you might not know what that means, but the Big 4, there are like 4 consulting companies that kind of dominate the landscape across the world. And I was a consultant at one of those Big 4 consulting companies. And I worked there for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years, before taking my talents into a different direction and really focusing and coming into a place where I am today, where I can help people's lives, help to improve their efficiencies, help them to maximize the things that they should be working on and taking their lives to the next level. So let's see if we can take a look at what we have in store today for the 7 tips to improve your time management. Here you see me on Atlanta Live, which is a local television station here in Atlanta, where I get a chance to really work and interview, and they really focus on in the area of faith-based individuals. And I had a chance to interview here with Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we were talking about life, we were talking about business, we were talking about money. We were talking about relationships. We were talking about the full gamut. So I get a chance to do that periodically when I'm called upon. Here's me on Headline News, where I get a chance to share some insight, expertise in the areas of love, money, as well as business. And this was me talking about financial obligations when it comes to marriage. And so that is a snapshot of my appearance there. I'm also a contributor to blackenterprise.com. And blackenterprise.com is a place where I provide insights in the areas of small business, as well as I'm a contributing writer to the Love and Money column there, where I contribute thoughts about money and love and relationships, and as well, in addition to the small business insight that I provide. And so here's one of my small business articles, how to systemize your business. And so this was an article that got a lot of traffic, and they talked about the steps to ensuring your brand is polished and that you're able to use technology to save time. And so I'm all about making sure that you're effective and efficient with how you spend your time and the things that you do and focus on. And so with that being the case, we're going to focus on some things today. Once we get to that, here's my family, myself along with my wife and my 2 kids. I got married back in December of 2014. I got married on 12/13/14. And so this was just a few weeks ago, as we were celebrating my son's 19th birthday, and had a chance to partake in some cake and some celebration there. He and his sister were recreating a childhood photo from back when they were about 4 years and 7 years old. And so that is a powerful thing to really kind of take a step back and recreate something that occurred so long ago. And so we were just having fun. That's why you see cake on my son's face. We were having a good time on that day. If you take a look, if you want to get social, I'm all about getting social. I'm all about making sure that we can focus on connecting from a social media standpoint. And so feel free to Periscope if you like. Also, if you want to use a hashtag, use the hashtag time management. Hopefully that'll help us to organize our thoughts as we go along. Here are some ways that you can connect with me. You can connect with me at Kenny Pugh by way of Facebook. You can connect with me at Mr. Kenny Pugh on Twitter. You can connect with me at Kenny Pugh on Instagram, as well as Kenny Pugh on YouTube. I'm also on Periscope, and so you can use the same handle that I have there for Twitter in order to connect with me on Periscope. I like to share information and insight on Periscope, as well as some of these other social media sites. And so let's get connected. Let's get social together. Well, who are you? And that's one of the things I wanted to take a look at. Because I'm a certified life coach, I like to look inside the lives of people and how to make their lives better. And so when I wanted to really pull together some content to help you out, I wanted to know who you are and who you were and who might be attending this particular session. And so here's who you are. You're an individual. You're someone who has a life. You have something that you focus on from day to day. You have responsibilities. You're employed. You're an employee. And so you probably work for another company, and that's kind of how you make your living. So you're an individual, you're an employee. You might be an entrepreneur if you're not an employee. And so you have responsibilities that are related to being an entrepreneur. And so that might be the story of your life. You might be a parent, and so you have the responsibility for taking care of yourself, as well as focusing some time to spend focusing and empowering your kids as well. You might be a spouse. If you're married, then you know that your life, it coincides and coexists with your spouse's life. And so you might be a spouse, and that could be your story as well. And then you also might be a freedom seeker, someone who's looking for an opportunity to experience the freedom of life, to be able to live life, to be able to exhale and be able to anticipate what is taking place in life, and so that you can live life freely. And so you're either an individual, you're probably an individual, of course. You're an employee, you're an entrepreneur, you're a parent, you're a spouse, and you might be a freedom seeker. Also, you're someone who's trying to find a way or figure out how not to work so hard balancing your schedule. There's something that is taking place in your life where you feel like you can't juggle the things that are taking place in your life. So trying to balance work, trying to balance family, trying to balance starting your own business, trying to participate in some of your extracurricular activities, trying to have a social life with your friends, trying to if you're someone of faith and want to attend church and ministry and serve in ministry, you're someone who's trying to figure out how not to work so hard balancing your schedule. You shouldn't be running out of control all over the place, just trying to take day by day. That should not be the story of your life. You're also someone who desires to gain a few more hours each week to either rest or do what you want to do. And so sometimes this time management thing is not about so that you can do more stuff, but sometimes you just want to rest. Sometimes you want to just, veg out on the couch and have a chance to really just take a deep breath and not have to worry about anything at that particular time. So there are a couple of different things that might be applicable to your life. And so if you are somebody who desires to gain a few more hours, either to rest or to focus on what you want to do, type in the chat room, say, that's me. That's me. I want to find a couple additional hours so that I can rest or so that I can focus on what I want to focus on. If that's your story, type in the chat room and say, that's me. That's me. That's me. And if you want to jump up and down in your seat, feel free to do that as well. Say, that is me. That's what I want to do. I want to gain a few more hours each week to rest or to do what I want to do. And you ought to be entitled to that. This is your life. This is the life that you design for yourself. You have the freedom to design your life, and you should not be obligated, or you should not feel overwhelmed every day that you wake up. Every day should not be a race to figure out how you can accomplish 100 things throughout the course of those 24 hours, those next 24 hours. That shouldn't be the case. You have the ability, you have the responsibility, and you have the control to figure out what you want to focus your time on. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. You're also someone who wants to be happier and healthier. So when you have better control over your time, you become happier because you can focus on the things that you want to focus on, and you become healthier because when you are spiraling out of control, trying to figure out what to do with your life, it brings about stress. And when you are stressed, it makes you unhealthy. And so when you become better at managing your time, you become happier and you become healthier. And so if you want to be happier and healthier, type in the chat room and say, that's me. I want to be happier. I want to be healthier. I want you to be happier. I want you to be healthier. You're also someone who wants control over your life, and you don't want life to have control over you. You want control over your life. And so hopefully these steps will help us take the control back over your life that each of you, or that you deserve, because it's all about you. The problem is when you allow time to manage you, it makes for a negative experience, and frustration eventually sets in. And so how many of you can think to yourself, man, I wake up, there's some days that I feel like I can't get the things done that I need to get done. And it makes for a negative experience. It makes for frustration to set in. And so is that you? Are you someone who has experienced that at some point in your life? It could be you. It might be you. And you might have experienced that at some point in your life. The problem also is that you want to grow in your career. You want to grow a business, and or you want to spend time with your family. And so when you're overwhelmed, you can't do those things. It makes it challenging because some people, in order to grow in their career, they totally immerse themselves in their careers and they don't have time for anything else. And so at the moment, everything else in their lives gets neglected, and that's no way to live. You ought to have a way to have a balance or a great blend between your work, your personal life, and your family. And that's something that we should all aspire to. The problem also is when you get caught up in your to-dos and the things that you have on your plate and all 50 things that you're trying to get accomplished, you don't have time for a personal life. I call it the work-life blend. When you don't have a work-life blend, it makes it very challenging. Your personal life suffers or your work suffers because you're overwhelmed with trying to accommodate the two. And it shouldn't be that way. There should be a healthy balance between the two. And this guy that's running on this hamster wheel, this is you if you don't take control over your life back. This is you trying to figure out how to juggle 15 things, how to get your kids to soccer and football and cheerleading practice, and how to get to the PTA meeting, and how to get to your ministry meeting, and how to get to your sorority or your fraternity meeting. How do you balance those things? Once you get in a routine of operating your life inefficiently, it becomes the norm for you. I'm going to say that again. Once you get in a routine of operating your life inefficiently, it becomes the norm for you. And so running on this treadmill becomes the norm for you. Running on this treadmill becomes your way of life. If you begin to get into a routine of operating your life inefficiently, it becomes the norm for you. And you will wake up on this hamster wheel each and every day, and that's how you'll live your life. And I don't want you to admit to yourself, well, yeah, admit to yourself, is this me? Ask yourself that question even right now. Is this me? Is this me running on this hamster wheel trying to get 50 things accomplished at one time? If that's you, just do a personal acknowledgement and just say to yourself, yeah, that's me. That's me. That's how I live my life. If this is not you, do you know someone who operates this way? Like when they come into your presence, there's just a chaos that follows them. That when they're in your presence, it's like confusion and commotion all over the place. Is that something that you want to be a part of? Is that something that you want to live your life? Is that the life you want to live? Hopefully that's not the life that you want to live. Hopefully you want to live a life where you have an efficient and controlled life. And so the result is this. When you live your life inefficiently, this becomes the way you continue to operate your life. It becomes the new normal for you. It becomes the way that you wake up and you live and breathe. You get so used to your dysfunction, you don't recognize the dysfunction. It becomes the new normal for you. So you might be that person that wakes up on that hamster wheel and you don't even know it. And you don't have anyone in your circle that's willing to share, hey, your life seems to be chaotic. You need to find a way to get some balance. And so if that's you, you might want to take notes. Hey, I might need to ask this question. I might need to reach out to someone to see if they can assist me with that. I'm going to share with you towards the latter part a way that we can work together and try to identify if this is you, and if so, how can we get you out of that? Because I want to provide a solution to your out of control life that you're currently living. This becomes a way that you continue to operate your life. It becomes your new normal. And guess what? It's time to make a change to the way you conduct your life. When the pain that changes is less than the pain that you're currently in, you'll change. And so hopefully by you participating on this webinar today, that you're realizing that the pain that you're in, the chaos, the inability to balance and focus on the things that you want to focus on, that is so painful that you're willing to endure the pain that it will take for you to change. Because it will be painful, quote unquote, for you to make an adjustment to your life. And the reason why it's going to be painful is because you're so used to operating out of chaos and out of inefficiency that it's going to be a challenge for you to realize what happens when you have time to yourself, when you're able to actually exhale, and that when you have time to relax, it's going to seem painful in the beginning because you're not used to it. But when the pain to change is less than the pain you're in, you'll change. And so hopefully today is the day that you'll change. I want to help you go through that process. So here are the 7 tips for managing your time and actually getting ahead. I want to give you these 7 tips. Be prepared to take notes. If you're ready to take notes, type in the chat room, I'm ready. I'm ready, because I want to make sure that I have a group of people who are focused on doing these things and actually saying, hey, I'm ready to take the next step. I'm tired of operating out of chaos. And so if that's you, type I'm ready in the chat room, and then we'll continue forward. So let's take a look at some things. You have so much going on in your life, your career, your business, that it's essential that you manage your time effectively. Either you will take control or life will continue to be out of control for you. And I don't want the latter to be the case. I want you to take back control over your life. So let's review the 7 tips that I promised you for managing or improving your time and getting ahead. Tip number 1, you need to be organized. That's the first tip. You need to be organized. You need to use time-saving tools, whether it's an online automated calendar so that you know what's going on in your life. You need to use tools that will help you save time. And so whether that's a calendar, whether that's an automated app for to-dos and the things that you need to have in order so that you can see the things that you need to accomplish on a given day or for a given week, and you can start to shift some stuff around if it doesn't look like it's going to be something that should be on your plate or something that you need to be spending and investing your time on. So use time-saving tools. Also, when it comes to being organized, you need to have an organized workspace. Some of you are out of control and spiraling and can't get things done because your workspace is unorganized, it's disorganized. And one of the things that we used to do when I was an executive is that we had a specific time where we would go around and we would just spend time cleaning your workspace, because we recognize that if you have chaos going on in your workspace, that you're not going to be efficient. And so it works the same way in your personal life. Your workspace at work needs to be organized. Your household needs to be organized. The things that you have going on at home, you can usually walk into somebody's house and tell what kind of life they live. And so if I were to walk into your house, what would I assess based off of your living space? What could I see? Is it one that demonstrates that you have organization and that you're under control, or does it look chaotic and that things might be out of control or inefficient in your life? So that's a question that I'll pose to you. You'll have a chance to kind of address that yourself. Be organized. Use time-saving tools. Have an organized workspace. Number 2, plan ahead. Plan ahead. Assess how long these tasks will take that are on your to-do list so that you can figure out how much time and how many tasks you should have on your plate. If you see this photo here, you want to learn the straight line approach. You want to know what it's going to take to get it done, and how you can proceed forward in the most efficient way so that you don't have to take this scrambled route that you see the other person on this particular photo doing. You need to assess how long tasks will take. You need to consider if anything can be combined. And so if there's some things that are similar in nature, can you do those things simultaneously, or can you do those things together? Ask yourself to plan ahead, and that's simply getting back to being organized. That's simply getting back to a place where you say, okay, here's what I need to take care of today. This is what I need to focus on. And I want to combine things that could be done together. And that'll help you with getting things done. Tip number 3, prioritize your tasks. Prioritize your tasks. I want you to set goals. I want you to set some goals. I want you to wake up every day with some goals, or some things that you need to focus on for a particular day or for a particular week. And that'll help you prioritize the things that you need to get done, because not everything has the same level of importance. Determine which tasks are most important to you so that you can give those the attention first. You need to focus on the things that need to have your attention first, the things that require a lot of energy, a lot of brain power. You want to focus on those things first. Tip number 4, I want you to avoid overload. Avoid overload. Include time for rest. And so I know it sounds weird, but sometimes you need to plan your rest. So even on a given day, you might need to say, you know what, for 30 minutes, I'm just going to sit and do nothing. Why? Because if you try to do everything and you don't take time to exhale and you don't take time to breathe, you're not going to be as productive on those other things. I know you think that you're Superman. I know that you think you're Superwoman. But the reality is you cannot do things when you're in overload. So every day you should have a rest period. Even if it's just 30 minutes of sitting in quiet and just focusing on nothing. That'll help to reset your mind and your focus, and that when you get back into working or doing whatever it is that you're doing, you'll have a chance to really be successful in that. And so that's a powerful thing. Definitely take note of that, because I think it's important for you to consider. Take short breaks. And so even throughout the workday in your office, or if you're an entrepreneur at your desk or wherever you do, take short breaks. Every hour, take 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you can spare. That way you can really recalibrate your mind and get to a place where you can focus on the things that you need to focus on. So you want to avoid overload by taking rest, maybe that's 30 minutes in the day, and taking short breaks, 5 to 10 minutes, every hour, every 2 hours, so that you don't get drained looking at your computer screen, because your eyes were never built to look and focus into a computer screen for continued hours throughout the course of the day. So take short breaks so it gives your mind and your eyes a chance to rest, and so that you can be more productive. Don't procrastinate, because you always say, well, I'll rest in 30 minutes or in 2 hours. No, you got to be intentional. When you want to regain control of your life, you don't allow tasks to manage you. You manage your tasks, and you don't procrastinate. So at the end of those 2 hours, and you say, okay, I'm going to take a 5 to 10 minute break. Get up and do it. Walk away from your desk. Go take a walk around the floor in your office. Go downstairs and walk out to your car. Do something different to take your focus off of it. Tip number 5, practice effective techniques. And so have an effective work environment. And so once again, once you understand what works best for you, create that atmosphere, that effective work environment, and put it into practice everywhere you go. Everywhere you go should be an effective work environment or a safe existence environment for you. You need to practice those effective techniques because then they permeate throughout all of the different areas of your life. And I want you to have that success once again. Have an effective work environment. Break down tasks. And so if you are someone who's in the midst of trying to write a book, don't think about the book as this big 200-page Goliath that you have to tackle at one time. No, break it down. A book consists of chapters. Chapters consist of pages. And so you just simply break down the book into chapters, into different paragraphs and pages so that you can take it one by one. And every time you attack one of those steps, you're one step closer to getting it done. So break down tasks. And that works with other areas of responsibility as well. And address your most time-intensive tasks first. And so they teach you, or they teach us, when you start looking at time management, is that the thing that's going to require a lot of your time first, focus on those tasks earlier in the day. Because if you wait till the end of the day to start focusing on your time-intensive tasks, that's going to be a challenge for you. You're going to struggle with that. You want to attack the things that are going to require a lot of your brain power and a lot of your time. Do those things earlier when you're most alert. Tip number 6, be flexible. Always expect the unexpected, because when it comes to managing your time, you don't operate in a bubble. You're not here by yourself. You always have to expect the unexpected, because other people may not necessarily be as mindful, as respectful as you are of your time. So always expect the unexpected. Ask for help when necessary. So in being flexible, if you need assistance, ask for help. If you find yourself at your desk at work struggling with a specific task, try to find somebody who can assist you with that. Otherwise, you're only delaying and getting further behind in some of the other things that you want to get accomplished. And so if we would only ask for help a little bit more when it's called for, then we could be more effective and efficient with our time. So, ask for help when necessary. And then last but not least, tip number 7, have a vision. So don't forget the big picture. Don't forget the big picture when you start talking about your time. This is your life. This is the one that you get. There is no dress rehearsal. You're living your life now. And you only have a set amount of time on this earth. And you need to assign it. You need to manage it more appropriately so that you're not operating under a sense of chaos. Don't forget the big picture. This is your life. Have a vision for your life. Know what's important to you. Because once you know what's important to you, those begin to be the things that you will focus on. And once you're focusing on the things that are important to you, you will smile, you will be happier, you will be healthier. And that's what life is all about. And you'll be able to take control of your time back. And that's the most important thing. Also, I want you to really, after we finish with this particular webinar, I want you to assign a value to your time. What's your time worth? Is your time worth $20 an hour? Is your time worth $30 an hour? Is your time worth $50 an hour? Is your time worth $100 an hour? I want you to assign a dollar amount to your time. And that way, as you're considering what you're doing, you will see what kind of value that is actually driving away from you, or you're actually contributing. And I don't want you to assign a dollar amount that your employer says that you're worth, because I believe that you're worth so much more. I believe that you're worth a lot more than many of your employers are paying you per hour. I want you to assign a value to your time. I want you to think about how much your time is worth so that you can focus on that as you are prioritizing the tasks that you're doing. Is that something that I want to spend my time doing when I feel like my time is worth $30, $50, $100 per hour? When you know how much time your time is worth, you'll focus on the things that are most important to you, because you won't focus on things that are trivial or don't apply to the overall big picture of your life. And so I want you to think about the big picture when it comes to your life. I want you to know what's important to you because that's important. It's important for you to know what's important to your life. And I want you to have a positive attitude. So today you've taken a step. You've taken a step to say, you know what? I want to improve my time management. I want to regain control over my life. I want to assign a value to my life. So as people are asking me to do things, I have to actually compare and say, you know what? Is this really worth my time? Is this something that I should be focused on? Is this something that I should be doing? And that way you will have a positive attitude and you won't live life. You'll live life on purpose and not out of obligation. I'm gonna say that again. Your goal is so that you can live life on purpose and not out of obligation. And unfortunately, you're probably living life out of obligation, obligated to what everybody else wants you to do. And I want you to transform that. We're going to break that. We want to shift that. We don't want that to be a part of your regular life. Your bonus tip is this, and this is the last one I'll leave you with. You need to learn how to say no. You need to learn how to say no, because no is such a powerful word. It's 2 letters, but it's a very powerful word. And this is one of the words that if you don't learn how to exercise it, your life is going to continue to spiral out of control. And other people will have control over your life and you won't have the control that you desire. The word no frees you up to focus on what's important to you. If that's you, you need to shake your head and say, yeah, that's me. I want to focus on what's important to me. I don't want to be focused on what is important to other people. Not saying that those things aren't important, but if you are sacrificing what's important to you for the sake of feeling obligated to someone else, then you're not living your life. You're allowing somebody else to control the life that you live. The word no prevents people from placing their things on your schedule. And so I want you to even think right now that you are probably in a place of fatigue in your life because you are living out the schedule that somebody else has imposed upon you. And what do I mean by that? Like you have some things on your schedule, on your calendar that aren't for you. They're for somebody else. And you're feeling obligated to live up to those things. No. Learn how to say no. If you're a part of an organization and the organization isn't driving value or that's not important to you, then you need to step away from that. If you're a part of some committees and some of these other things that some people are associated with, then you need to learn how to say no if those committees or those focuses don't help to grow you, don't help you to work towards the goals that you have for your life. You have one life. You have the goals that you ought to be setting for your life, the things that you want to accomplish. And if the things that are currently in your schedule, on your schedule and in your life now don't help you to achieve the goals that you set for yourself, for your family, and for your well-being long-term, then you need to learn how to say no. You need to learn how to, be intentional about saying, hey, I thought about this. I think I'm going to transition. I think I'm going to move on. I think I want to, take a look at what's happening in my life, and I want to focus on the things that are important to me right now. So taking a step back from a leadership position might be the thing that you need to do. I know it feels good to be important, that everybody's looking to you, but if that position is not helping you progress towards your overall purpose in your life, then it's just nothing more than busy work that you're taking into consideration. For those of you who might be in ministry, I understand that you want to serve and that you want to be active in ministry, but place some boundaries around your time. I am somebody who's associated with ministry. I understand that there are people who will take advantage if you don't have boundaries over your time. And I don't want you to be one of those people. I want you to take control back over your life. No prevents people from placing their stuff onto your schedule. So look at your schedule and take a look at whether or not the things that are on your schedule actually belong to you, help to progress you towards your purpose, or are these things that you're doing for someone else? I promise you, if you take and get rid of those things that belong to some other people, that those things will get done. It will force them to actually have to take accountability or responsibility for their own stuff. Whew, I said a mouthful there, didn't I? I'll say this one more time. You might be tired in your life right now because you're carrying on stuff from other people's plates that you should not be carrying. And so I want to just reiterate that one more time. 7 tips for managing your time and getting ahead. Here are the results. If you implement these 7 tips, you will dramatically improve the way your life operates. You will dramatically improve the way your life operates. And that's what you want to do. You want to improve. Your life will improve. You can get some things done that you actually really wanted to get done. And you can focus on the most important things in life. Those are the results that you want. Those are the things that you want. All right, I've been asked to share tip number 6 again. So let's go back and see if we can get to tip number 6 so that you can have that on your plate. Be flexible. Always expect the unexpected, because you don't live in this life, in this world by yourself. You need to ask for help when necessary so that you don't have to spend time buried doing something when somebody else might have some insight that will help you out. So tip number 6 is being flexible. Always expect the unexpected, because you don't live in this earth by yourself. So people will be late, things will be delayed, technology might fail you. And so you need to be flexible. So don't have your schedule so jam-packed so that you have things back to back to back to back to back all the time, expecting things to never go wrong. And when things go wrong, it throws your entire schedule off. So always expect the unexpected, ask for help when necessary. Tip number 7 was having a vision. And then the bonus tip was learning how to say no, because it'll prevent you from allowing people to place their things onto your schedule. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that will enlighten you. 7 tips for managing your time, getting ahead. Once again, it'll improve the way your life operates. Your life will improve, things will get done, and you can focus on the things that's most important. And you will have more time, because that's what you ultimately wanted. You want more time for yourself, and you will be happier. So what's next? Really, the choice is yours. You can continue operating in the same manner or decide to actually make a change to your life. Hopefully it's the latter. Hopefully you're ready to make a change in your life. And so you can take these tips and run with it. Or you can seek out assistance. I'm available really to assist you with the process of better managing your time. If you feel like you need, kind of a one-time session or someone that can help you really illuminate the things that are important to you, I'm available to help you out with that. I can set up what is known as a strategy session. It's 1 hour, and I promise you, for 1 hour, if we sit down, we will totally streamline your schedule and the things that are on your to-do list so that you can focus on the things that are most important. And so if that's something that you think it will, be helpful for you, you can choose that route. I also have a time management program, which is 3 weeks or 21 days in nature, in duration. And so you can choose either one of those, a strategy session if you feel like that's all you need, or you can register for my time management program, which is 21 days or 3 weeks. You can click the link below the chat window for those of you who are logged on. You can feel free to click that link to purchase either one of those programs, the strategy session or the time management program. Or for those of you who are watching by way of Google Hangout or YouTube or wherever you might be streaming from, you can send an email to info@kennypugh.com to receive information or to schedule that appointment, and we'll get you set up. 1 hour can change your life. 3 weeks will definitely change your life, and I want you to experience that change of life. And so if you choose the strategy session, it's a 1 hour session done by way of telephone or Skype. It'll address the activities that are draining you and your time right now so that we can reprioritize the things that should be important to you. And the standard investment for that particular session is $97. But because you're on the webinar, you get to purchase that particular session for $47, which is a steal. It's an absolute steal to spend 1 hour for $47 to reshift your life and get control back. And so the strategy session is an option for you. You can choose the time management coaching program, which is 3 weeks. Like I said, it's done via telephone or Skype if that's something that you want to do. And you receive 21 days of accountability to better managing your time. So you'll have a chance to go through the things that you're supposed to be doing. And I have tools and templates that will help you out. So there's a time management assessment that we'll go through, and that we will also have a tracking tool which will help you move forward in tracking your time so that you know where you are wasting valuable time of your life. I want to make sure that you're not wasting time. I want to make sure that you're focused on the things that you should be focused on. The standard investment for that is $197. So that 3-week coaching program generally costs $197. You get a chance to invest in that for yourself for $97. And that's something that you should jump out. That's a no-brainer. 3-week, 21-day accountability. Help to prioritize your time and your schedule so that you can get on the right track. And if you think about how much you assign to the value of your time. If 1 hour of your time is worth $50, then 2 hours of your time is an investment that will be equivalent of this. And I'm actually giving you 3 weeks to help you break free. And if I can save you 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours a week, just think about what you can do with an additional 2, 3, 5, or 10 hours additional per week. What would you do? Would you rest? Would you exhale? Would you start working out? Would you spend more time with your family? And so you got to ask yourself which one of these is actually is most appropriate with where I am. If you feel like you can work things out and you just need to brainstorm, just sign up for the strategy session. If you want the time management coaching program, then go ahead and invest in that. It'll be well worth your time, if for nothing else than to see where you are tracking your time and losing valuable time out of your life. And so you have the chance to just click the button. For those of you who are logged in on the website, you can click one of the buttons that are there associated with the strategy session or the time management coaching program, and you'll just go ahead and purchase that, and you'll have a chance to receive some additional information, which we will schedule time for us to get together to work through, getting you through that process. And I want to work with you because I want to see you be successful. I want to see you take advantage of having more time in your life so that you can smile again. And so hopefully these 7 steps or these 7 tips to improve your time management have been worth your time. Hopefully you've gained some insight and some knowledge that you can now apply to your life or make the decision to work with me. And once again, I would love to work with you to help to transform your life. If you have any questions, feel free to type into the chat room at this time, and we'll see if we can get those questions answered. For those of you who are logged into the Google Hangout, feel free to type in your questions at this time as well. And we'll see if we can get some answers to whatever it is that that's on your mind. And so let's take a look and see what's going on with the questions here. All right, so I have a question. Is there work to be done every day within the 3-week coaching program? Yes, you will be placed in that 21-day program or the 3 weeks. Every day there's just a requirement for you to take a look and assess and log your time to see where you're spending time and to assess which time is actually being a benefit to you or is it a benefit to someone else. And so that will be an eye-opening experience for you as you go through that process. So yes, there's homework to do pretty much every day, but it's just basically a log of activities that will force you to think about where you're investing your time each and every day. So yes, there's work to be done every day, and you'll be reminded about that each and every day along the way. Another question, can we get the discounted webinar rate after today? Well, unfortunately, I can't make that promise to you. I can't make the promise to say that you'll get the discounted rate because it would be unfair to those who actually come to me outside of this forum. Others that come to me through other forums and whatnot, they have to pay that regular price. They have to make that regular investment. And even at that investment, the way it's priced out, it's still very, very much worth your while and worth your investment to move forward with taking advantage of it. Because even at $197, that's a steal. I don't know how many coaching programs you can get for $197, especially ones that are going to help you reclaim control over your life and to help you identify gaining valuable hours back to your life that you can spend with your family, that you can work on your business, and that you can take and just simply invest in yourself. And so I got to ask yourself, is an investment in yourself worth the $97 discounted rate or the $47 strategy session? You should say absolutely. That should absolutely be something that is worth your while, because if you can free up some time and prioritize where you should be spending your time, then that is where you need to place your focus. Any other questions, feel free to type in the chat room. I'm going to see if there are any other ones here that I need to take a look at. All right, I don't see any others at this time. And so I want to thank you for taking time out of your day. I know it's not easy to take time out to really invest in yourself, especially for those of you who are at a place of employment. but I want you to get your time back because it's important for me to see more people smiling, to see more people happy. And I want you to be a part of the happy and healthier crew that exists out there because they've reclaimed control of their lives. And so if that's you, I want to work with you. If not, feel free to take the 7 tips that I've shared with you so that you can really, really regain control of your life. But the one thing that I know that I'll guarantee is that if we work together, I'll give you personal accountability. And when you have accountability, you tend to do better. So I want to work with you. I want to see you improve and transform your life. And for those of you who work with me, I look forward to it. For those of you who are able to take these tips and run with it, then much success to you. Just promise me that you'll come back and share your success story with me. Email me info@kennypugh.com and share your success story with me so that I can celebrate along with you, because I want to take note of the people who are applying these tips to their lives, and I want you to be a success story as well. So until next time, take care, and thank you for joining 7 Tips to Improve Your Time Management. My name is Kenny Pugh, and I appreciate your time.